it's a good state of mind to get into. It's just clear the clutter. Then you haven't got no room for confusion or anything to distract you.
That's applied to personal life. If you want to move a business forward, there is so many tools, so many those. You know, the grass is greener on the other side. You're constantly coming with some ideas to use different CRM, different approach to customers. But actually, if you're gonna stick for long enough to one, and later on version 1, version 2, like Sam is telling.
Yeah, that is it. Honestly, it's just that is the way forward. And when you're jumping from niche to niche, you're actually not giving that niche a chance to give you feedback, to improve, to innovate it until it gets to the point where it actually works. You can't just jump. I mean, 4 days later it's not working. We'll jump to this one because it looks like it's getting somewhere. It's not the best way to go, because all you will be doing is wasting your time, wasting your money, and plus you'll end up giving yourself that negative voice in your head saying, I might as well just give up business completely because nothing's working. This is not for me. When actually you've not gave to actually get some feedback and
look, I have an interesting thing regarding that.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of common sense, isn't it? To just stick to one niche and go with that. Because usually it doesn't work to actually skip, pass forward some niches and give it a go for a few days and then another one. And this might not, obviously, it's not, you don't have time to really make anything out of it. But the thing is, I met interesting guy who is jumping from those niches and like 1 month there, 2 months somewhere else. He recently invested, I believe, about 20,000 into coaching with some French entrepreneur, and he was doing that for about like 4 or 5 months. He get that money back. He was doing coaching for startups, entrepreneurs to X amount of their business within some time, right?
Yeah.
And he was getting like, I believe 6,000 per day, and he got clients.
Yeah.
And he was doing drop shipping before.
Wow.
And he got clients. Okay, so he got clients, so he hired somebody to do that for himself. So he's not doing that. Right now he's finishing a keto diet program. Wow. And teaching people how to use keto diet. He was on a keto diet and making money out of it. Right now he's moving to another niche, and I hear that he started making money out of it. And how the heck is possible that, there's so much confidence in him that people are buying?
Yeah.
No clue how.
Wow, if it works and he can get him from A to B and he gets them results, why not? I mean, he must be that type, what we call a Leonardo da Vinci, that can do everything. Leonardo could do, obviously, he could draw, he could write, he could paint, he was a scientist as well, because obviously he was given human cadavers to tear apart. So he studied the human body. He basically started the anatomy and physiology off, and the detail he put into everything, that's what made his art so much better. That's what made his writing so much better. So in some respects, I mean, especially to that is pure case of a Leonardo da Vinci mindset. I mean, that guy is just absolutely phenomenal, and I applaud him for that. That's brilliant. It's just amazing. I mean, I know myself, I couldn't be able to focus on so much because I would get caught up and end up tripping myself up, because that's me. But him, I mean, wow. I mean, going from one to the other and then employing these people to do it for him, that's amazing. And if you have that mindset, then do it. I mean, yes, jumping from niche to niche, you can trip up. But if you know what you're doing, you're focused on that niche for that time, then yeah, you could make a killing. Definitely.
No, he's making himself. He's not He's not anymore obviously in full-time job. He's just doing entrepreneur. He can travel and do that from any place in the world, and that's amazing. But if he would stick to one place, to one niche, he would be able to scale that. Because right now, of course, for us, might sounds like, at least for me, might sounds like a lot of money. He's making about 5,000 to 10,000 a month euros. Yeah. So it's a bit of money, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely amounts to something a year. So bloody good on him. That's amazing. I'd like
So
to know how he keeps everything categorized, though. That would be one good life lesson to learn from him. How does he keep it all in category? How does he not get anything mixed up? That just especially traveling around whilst doing it. That's something that's just completely out of this world level of thinking,
that's
which is what Sam talks about as well.
I would take this. I would try to encourage him. He's my neighbor, so I would try to encourage him on to get on that interview, so we can watch how he doing that.
Yes.
To get some feedback from simple guy from France. He made really good results.
That is good results. That's
So
amazing.
would
That'd
you
be
be
lovely.
interested? Would you be
Yeah,
interested to see?
definitely. As long as he's interested to see me, obviously. The last thing he was just this person from England going, "How are you doing this?" And when he's busy doing all of that, it's
Well,
be great.
that's what I'm planning to do on that on growth on that private group. So to invite that kind of people. So later on, I don't know, we might have a mastermind that you, him, me, or somebody else, and you can exchange
Yeah,
thoughts on life. I'll be amazing.
definitely. That would be amazing. I mean, and especially with everyone else watching it, like getting tips from it, that amount of people that could help, or even people who want to join in and add their bit to it, that'd be great. They have a, like, where they have, obviously, I think you can do a split live session where everyone's watching 3 to 4 people doing a live session on Facebook about, say, for mindset, for example, and you've got
Mhm.
like a live commentary, and you just occasionally look at the live commentary and answer questions, and talk about what people are adding to it. Oh, don't forget this, guys. This also works, and then you say that on a live chat, and that could potentially help someone who's watching. That'd be
Have you
amazing.
tried Watch Party? Have you tried Watch Party on the Facebook groups?
I have not tried it myself, but I've watched other people use it.
It's like
Mainly people who do let's plays, for example, which are hilarious. But
let's yeah, I get that.
let's
Well,
plays. That's Markiplier. I'll watch because this. I mean, whenever I've had a down day, obviously I'll go and meditate. But he just seems to. I don't know. It's just what he does, just so funny. I mean, you look up Markiplier with Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. It's even though
well,
it's horrible to say that I found entertainment watching him getting enraged with this thing, because looks like one of them stereotypical rage games. It was
mhm.
just so funny, and I do apologise to Mark for obviously getting enjoyment from watching him getting enraged for it, but it was just so funny, and
So you are
that yeah.
so some let's play. So it's like Twitch thing or
Let's plays are like basically they're online gamers who do commentary or
Mhm.
sometimes don't do commentary on games that have come out. So some people use them as a type of review to like watch how the game plans out, whether it's worth the price that it is, because games are so expensive nowadays. But or some people just watch it for entertainment purposes, because these guys are quite funny, especially when Markiplier plays like a horror game. He's freaking hilarious. It's just
yes, I like to watch when they play horrors because I myself I wouldn't dare to.
really. I love horror games. I grew up on horror games. I mean, my
Did you
very
play
first
PT? Did you play PT? Sorry for interrupting.
PT.
PT,
PT.
playable teaser, Silent
No.
Hill, which was deleted on
Um,
PlayStation 4 from
no, I
Hideo
haven't played
Kojima.
that. I've played the very first Silent Hill. That freaked me out. So no,
But
I
there was for a bit of time PT playable teaser from Hideo Kojima, but later on,
okay,
you know that he was kicked out at
okay,
some any reasons from Konami, and
yeah.
before that he made a game called PT, and
Mm.
that's like teaser for Silent Hill, which never the project was deleted, but later on
Oh,
that became a legend because I remember
yeah.
that when that was deleted, people who actually have that on their consoles could sell their PlayStation for $1,000 if they had that PT,
Oh
and
my God,
that
that's
was.
insane.
But I was like, yeah, I'm feeling special. I'm not gonna be selling my console by
No,
having that.
no. I mean, no, I haven't played. Obviously, I haven't not played that download, but I've only played the very first Silent Hill because it freaked me out that much. That was one. I mean, we're never going to see those types of games again, so they are literally gold dust now. But I mean, that compared to Alone in the Dark, Silent Hill, the very first PlayStation 1 game, scared the absolute hell out of me. I had nightmares for weeks, but that got me to love survival horror. I mean, that led me into Resident Evil, which is my ultimate favourite survival horror. And then, obviously, I played Alien Isolation, which has topped the mark for me. It's just a beautiful game. So those are the types of games I've played.
I'm just scared to death to play them. I don't even touch them. No.
Sometimes they're better than films. No, the horror films that come out today, I've not seen one that's gave me that fear factor yet. That made me thought, God, if that actually happened, what would you do? Whereas now it's all about jump scares, and when you make a film all about jump scares, it's just you're waiting for it, and you know it's going to come because all the music just dies down. It's low, and you're like, 1, 2, 3, bang, and it's just, what are you doing? You know, if you really want to put the fear into someone, you obviously need to do it psychologically, and you need to do it obviously physically. I mean, what I love about the old slasher films, like Friday the 13th, Halloween's my ultimate favourite horror film. The very first Halloween done by John Carpenter. That put the fear into me because this guy who didn't talk, he didn't have to run, he wore a creepy ass mask, and he just chased these teenagers who he didn't have any connection to, until later on in the obviously the film series, where it turned out that Laurie Strode was Michael Myers' sister. I mean, spoiler alert, sorry. It's just that fear level. It was like, why would someone go from there to there? What's going on? And it wasn't so gory. There wasn't so much, and I'm going to say this, there wasn't so much sexual content. I mean, there was obviously a sexual scene, but there wasn't so much based on a woman taking off her bra and a man ripping off his shirt, showing his perfectly six-pack abs. That's not real people. Real people are like you and me, who you may not have a six-pack, or may not have the perfect breast size, or they may not have the perfect hair. I mean, my hair can be absolute ghastly in the morning, but it's just normal working people. And what I liked is where it's obviously Halloween was based in the 70s. They had the 70s style. They conformed to that era. So it really brought you the horror to home, you know? So that's why that to me was scary. I mean, now it's, I can watch it and just laugh, but back then when I first watched it, it was like, bloody hell. I mean, horror games got nothing on these classics. They really haven't. It seems like they're more focused on the betrayal of the victim, and they seem to focus on how that murderer came to be. I'm not interested in how he came to be. All I'm interested in is getting scared.
So have you been watching? Have you been going through VR experience for games of movies? Let's say PlayStation VR or something like that.
I watched the VR experience with Alien Isolation. I'd love to do it, but I know I'd come away with nightmares. I mean, I think there's one of the Japanese companies did it over in Japan, where they've actually got a nice warehouse built out just for people to have this VR, and the VR will take them around safely around this obstacle course, the things they got to do to get through. And it was all purely based on Alien Isolation and something else, which I think it was more or less a shooting game, like Call of Duty or something. And they had so much fun doing this, and I thought that'd be a great fitness technique. But obviously you've got to rely on the VR to get you around that obstacle course safely without getting
VR. So let's bring that to the, let's bring that to phones. You can use that AR, augmented reality. So turning off the lights, and those ghosts might appear on the screen, right, out of your wall.
Yeah, I know that would be great. Like 1 minute you just turn around, oh, there's nothing there. Oh my god! I mean, have you watched the videos where people have videoed people on these VR sets, and they're like they're doing stuff, and they're like, oh my god, they're trying to look away, but they can't because it's literally there. That would be brilliant. I mean, I haven't done it myself. I'd love to. But
I'm playing on PlayStation, so I played few games, and especially when you have that moves things and that jumping on you, and you need to shot those things, and using that moves controller, and well, that's totally out of the sky experience. And
How did you feel when you did it? Like, what was it like?
my heart was beeping. It was
Yeah.
obviously, and I, I was that scared that I tried that few times, and I never back to horror games ever again. That's
Okay.
that was simple experience. Let's say you are in the cage going diving, and you can see the shark going around, and the shark trying to attack your cage from different sides, and you don't know from where it's coming.
Mm.
Such experience, but let's say there was until down experience when you are going through the um, on the wheel the roller coaster. You're going on the
Yeah.
roller coaster, and things attacking you. Just sitting there and going. There's some like pigs slaughtered or things. Blood is coming over. Some uh, monsters attacking
Crazy.
you, and you need to shoot them. But the thing is, you cannot escape from it, and that's the scary part. Even if you
It's sort
close,
of,
that's gonna be there.
yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
it sort of tricks your brain into thinking that this is the reality, doesn't it? I mean, I'd love to see some. I mean, there probably are some psychological studies on this where if you have, because obviously you're wearing your headphones, you've got it completely in your face, and you're doing the mechanical controls to how you live your life. So that kind of takes away, kind of makes it a reality. Like
Mhm.
virtual reality is now becoming reality. So it's kind of tricking your brain into that sense, and that's going to be absolutely mad when it comes to our households. I mean, at the moment, I mean, a lot of people have got it, but when it becomes so affordable that everyone has it, it's going to be like that film, that Ready Player One. I mean, I haven't fully
Yeah,
watched Ready
I've been
Player
on
One, but
cinema for that.
that's all them people do is go to work and come home, and that's it. They're in this virtual world where
Mhm.
they're millionaires, or they're these people who are completely in control of their life when in the real world they're not. And the fact that we could get to that stage, I mean, not that I'm saying we might, I mean, we might not, but the fact we could get to that stage, that some people would get to
Mhm.
that stage because they can't see anything better to do in real life, in their real life, so they go to virtual reality to get it, to get
But
that instant gratification.
that's gonna be
That'd be
some kind
insane.
of the next stage of after social media, right?
Yes.
I believe that once people are gonna be fully kind of and eaten by social media or how
Yeah.
some sort of the next stage gonna be a VR world because once right now you have that blurry thing which doesn't really you can easily distinct. Of course, if it's some on emotions, you're gonna be really into the movie. But
Mm.
otherwise, otherwise it's like you cannot really look into text. You cannot really see around because there is like a vision, tunnel vision thing.
Yeah.
Uh, but when that's gonna be developed and people gonna be able to use those paths for running and moving around like in Ready Player One, it's
Yeah.
actually those parts actually exist, but it's
Yeah.
so expensive technology right now that not many can afford
Yeah. I
to
mean, if
really
you
do
think
that.
about it, when the first video game was ever created, I mean, you had to go to an arcade to play these video games, and obviously you had Pac-Man and whatnot. And I mean, my favorite was Pac-Man. Donkey Kong, the very first Donkey Kong was
Aye.
just brilliant. And you had to go to an arcade to play these games. And experts back then said it won't be long till they're in every household. And everyone just laughed, saying, "Ah, it's too expensive. No one's going to have like £1,000. I mean, £1,000 back then in the 70s or what, in the 80s was a lot of money. No
Hmm.
one's going to have that in their household because it's far too expensive. Look what's happened now. It went from Sega to Nintendo to PlayStation, then Xbox, and now you've got the two biggest giants, which is Xbox and PlayStation, battling it out for these VRs to produce the best product to get the most customers. And now they are the most majority of these consoles are now in every household. So those experts were predictions were right, and
Okay, so
experts
where we are
now
going right
predict.
now? So yes, carry on, carry on. Sorry, I just started.
Sorry, uh, now predicts that we will not be able to tell
Hmm.
virtual reality from real world because soon it will be virtual reality. Instead of just playing on a game in front of a TV screen, it will all be virtual.
So right now we are going into the I think the next generation gonna be on cloud-based, right? There are some rumors. PlayStation going in the cloud. There's Project Scorpio from Google, right? There are VRs right now which are cable. So right now you can actually buy Googles with some extension that you don't need the cables, right?
Yeah,
so,
and then basically it puts you on these people around the world, and you just work as a team, or you fight against each other, or whatever the game consists of. That will be mind-blowing. The fact that one day that may be in everyone's household, and that's all people will probably learn to live for, because video games are such an amazing way to escape from reality. I mean, I still play today, even though I'm heading towards my dream career goal. So it's
so actually, could you tell me what's that's I would like to really hear what makes you realize that you would like to escape that video games.
But you want to know, because you broke up a bit, you want to know why I like to escape to a video game every once in a while.
I mean, why you decided to escape from video games to come back to the reality?
To be honest with you, it all started obviously from when I was at university. I would hide in my video games to ignore my responsibilities with my assignments. Like, I'd be like, oh, I've got 3 weeks to do that assignment. I can just play video games, and 2 weeks later I've got better at my video games, but my assignment's still sitting there untouched. And it's like, whoop. So when I realised that I could potentially put in my dream career in jeopardy, I thought something's got to change. So I had to put away my PS2, my PS3, and just say, no, I need to focus. Why am I paying all this money to go to university just to play video games? You just don't do it. I mean, I know I had a lot going on, and the stress, and it helps you to a video game to just escape the world for an hour or two. But I wasn't just playing for an hour or two. I mean, that hour that I thought I'd play for turned into 6 or 8, and all my work with uni work will still be sitting there. So it was like, the more I left it, the worse the stress got. So I wasn't doing myself any favors. It was like a ultimate negative feedback loop.
So that's obviously was that feedback loop you stuck in that, because that probably wasn't like a one day one tick, that one click. There was multiple.
No, it happens in stages. I mean, basically, once you start, it starts to escalate. I mean, it's just that trigger. I'm stressed out. So the trigger was I'm stressed out about my work. So you play video games, and then you're on that video game for 8 hours or so, or even up to 12 hours a day. And then you get fatigued, and you think, oh, I need to come away from this now. I need to sleep. And you wake up again, you see the work there, and you've got extra shifts because you've not stepped away from it. You've stepped away from the work, but you've not stepped away from video games to do the work. So you've got added stress. So you go back to the theatre, and it just spins and spins, and it ends up turning into a negative flywheel. And in the end, it's spinning out of control until you make that change to stop it in its tracks, the trigger, get on with the work. That's the only chance that you'll get to make a positive change and start getting somewhere in life, to remove that stress. So when
that was causing so much pain, right? To the extent that you decided, fuck it, I need to quit that.
Yeah. I mean, hiding from your problems they're not going to go away, because they're still going to be there when you come away from the video game.
Like a shadow, right? Behind you.
Yeah, practically. Yeah. I mean, even though you're there typing away, and it's like, it's still there. You can't run from it. So I've told myself, I need to face this. Yes, I'm scared of failure, but I'm at university. I am allowed to fail here. I mean, yes, people would probably laugh at me saying that, you can't fail at university, that makes you an idiot. It's not. You can make mistakes at university. Like, my dream career is to become a forensic scientist. So to make the mistakes at university will teach me to become a better scientist when I'm finally in that career. Because if I'm in that career and I'll make a mistake, that could be putting someone an innocent person inside for something they didn't do, or it could get someone who is actually guilty get off scot-free because I made a mistake.
So is that thing allowed? Let's focus a bit on on growing, because on the school education, because in Poland we have that restricted. Okay, there are, of course, there are grades, like probably like in UK, but actually, yes, you need to make a grade. People are judging you, putting you into the same basket. There are assignments. You're gonna fail, and people are making so much. They are so much connected that, oh, I get a negative degree, I'm an idiot. Oh, there are some people are getting better. They are more pumped, and they're
Yeah.
So are you allowed to make a fail there? Because in Poland, just getting there, and
Of
even
course you
teacher
are.
can.
I mean, I can, even teachers can fail. I mean, the best thing to face that fear is to realise you are allowed to make mistakes, because one, you're a human, and two, you are always learning. You don't know everything. I mean, even though I'm hoping to become an expert and forensic scientist, I still will not know everything. And trust me, these defence barristers or prosecution barristers know this. So when you accept that, you can go into the court as an expert witness completely stress-free, because you know you're only a human. You've done everything to the best of your abilities. You've done everything to the best of your standard operating procedures, and you've read and kept up to date with recent research into sciences that help pertain to a law, and you've done everything to the best you can. And these barristers, even though I used to be scared to death of them, the thought of them trying to make me sound stupid used to terrify me, but now I see them as a necessary evil. They keep me competent. They keep me on my toes. They're keeping me an expert. Them trying to do that to me is keeping me on my toes. So I'd rather be competent in my job and be prepared 110% now than think, well, I'm an expert in, say, for example, I'm an expert in pathology. How dare they try and make me sound like I'm an idiot because I know what I'm talking about? That's not the attitude. It's, these people are here to do a job to make sure you have done your job, because they are literally the last point of call for someone to either be sent down for the job. And if the evidence states I mean, sometimes the evidence isn't always right. It can be misinterpreted, again, human error, or even it can be instrumental error. Like the processes in the lab may have failed, and then it causes a knock-on effect. But these people, these barristers, are our last point of call. They are literally the last gate, which could steal an innocent person's freedom, or actually save crime. Sorry. So they are an ultimate and necessary evil. They keep me competent in my job. They keep me on my toes. They inspire me to keep up with my literature reading. Because there has been cases where, obviously in court, I mean, especially if the barrister is very good at their job, if they keep up to date with all of the scientific analysis and the new research that's out there to do with forensic science, and they happen to read a newly published journal article about a new type of analysis that you could use, say, to analyse blood spatter analysis, and they take that to court then that day, if that scientist hasn't read that, say for example they were going over their notes, they hadn't had a chance to look at their laptop, they were going over their notes and what to say, the case, to refresh their mind, because it could be a matter of 6 to 3 months before you go to court on that case. So they're refreshing their mind, they go to court, and that barrister says, well, so and so and so and so at, say, Boston University has come up with that this new technique actually states that this spatter results could be wrong. And it's like, whoa, well, hold on a minute. And that's when they obviously call for an adjournment, because they got to read that article, and then they could also call for a further adjournment to process that technique in their lab to see if they can recreate the results. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's such a complex process, and that's why, much as silent witness and CSI is amazing. I mean, but they really don't grasp that aspect, because that's what it does happen. And I'd love to see Silent Witness and that lot grasp that aspect in the future, especially to people who love forensic science, because it does happen, and it's so good to see how the expert witness responds to it. Because if they are really competent in their job, they'll say, hang on, I need to read this. I need to do this, this, and then this. This is how much X amount of time it's going to take. So obviously the poor victims, or even the person accused, has to wait another 3 to 6 months before another court date to finally see these new results. But that barrister is that last point of call for either an innocent person to be sent down, or an innocent person to finally get their freedom, or a guilty person to walk away, or a guilty person to be sent down. It swings roundabouts. So
I can see that.
when I
can,
yeah, sorry, I've gone on
we
for
just
ages.
jump a bit out of the topic, I think, or
Yes.
or maybe even it's your topic, because you are talking about some taking that.
Yeah, obviously getting back on topics. I've literally gone out of my point is, out of all of this, is that when I realised that I was hiding with video games because I was scared of this, I would never become that expert that I want to be. I was actually self-sabotaging my dream career at that point. So when you stop and you think, well, how am I going to change this? It was simple. Get off the video games. Face that fear. Do your best. Make mistakes. Learn from it.
It is simple, right? But it's like with any other addictions, you just stuck in that wheel. Coming back, let's say, from work, and again you have that temptation. How I'm gonna deal with that? I need to play. I need to just finish that game. And then
it's your brain, because obviously I was getting that withdrawal. So you are fighting. It's like there's nothing worse than having a constant battle with your own mind. Mm-hmm. And to people who have that battle, to me, are superheroes, because your greatest enemy is yourself. So you've got to try and find ways to, for me, I found a way to battle that by saying I can play video games when I'm successful. And even when I'm successful, I only play video games when I literally have nothing else left on the plate to do.
There was a saying from, have you heard about Ty Lopez?
Mm-hmm.
He brings that really good metaphor to that. It's like when you're teaching dog to make some tricks, right? So whenever he performs that trick, you're giving him a treat, right? And if you're gonna be giving him a treat, let's say once a week after performing his trick, he's gonna say like, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna listen to you anymore." But that's how he came with the idea. Okay, I'm not playing. Let's say you're not playing for entire time, but you did a good job. Okay, so you have an hour of play.
Yeah.
How does it related to quitting that video game addiction?
Well, when I was obviously at university, for me, whenever I got a good grade, I rewarded myself with 1 to 2 hours, or even 3 hours playing video games.
Yeah.
But once
a day,
I left
or how it is? That was kind of a day, or you just when?
A day. Yeah, a day. Like. Okay. That would be for me a day. If I've got a good grade a day, I would get to do X amount with my video games.
So from how many hours you came to from how many hours to 2-3 a day?
Yeah.
How many hours was before, and later on you decided, okay, I'm gonna be doing 2-3 hours a day?
Before I was doing, I mean, it's gonna be rookie amounts compared to what some people do, but I was doing literally 5 to 6, depending on how many hours I had in my day. That was spare time, because obviously I was at university full time, so it was like 48 hours a week studying. So
coming back home and
lecture, right? Come back home, dinner, shower, game. When I could be catching up on my reading, or like getting ahead of my assignments, so I do have extra time later on. But I didn't think like that. I didn't invest like that. I just got on the game.
You just said that coming back from home, and you are straight away in the mood. Oh, I'm gonna be I'm gonna become a superhero, right?
Yeah, I've got this complete amount of time left. Like my assignments aren't due for a month. I haven't got to read that book. I can read it later on. It's fine. Sit there and go.
And then one book, and then another book, assignment, and another assignment, and it's that pile up, and then
about that big.
damn it.
Yeah, it's about that big, and I look at it and I'm like, shit. Should have kept on top of that. So when I come to do my masters, I was on top of it. So I knew that I had to be on top of this stuff. So after university, I sort of did that. I knew that it was going to be hard to get into the lab, to get experience. And when I found out after doing interviews, they wanted you to have 5 years experience after leaving university, fresh out of university, but they want you to have 5 years experience in the lab. It was a catch-22 situation. So constantly hearing this and then passing through fixed-term contracts and whatever, and then finding out that I'd quite like to have a full-time job because I want to start doing yoga retreats and do other things with my life. And when I was hitting these brick walls, I ran to video games to escape from that upset, that everything that upset me, because they made me happy. Again, instant gratification, instant dopamine.
Can we just come on a second to your graduation, because you finished university with you did a master, right? Or
I did. Obviously, I did a bachelor's degree for 3 years, which I got a second in. Obviously, it's a lower division second because I'm shit at exams, but hey ho, whatever. I can still do the job, so that's all that matters to me. And then I went straight into my master's, which was a year course. So I graduated from that in 2014.
And then how did you manage with your time? Because you were so much into the playing games, and there was some sort of X amount of time that you need to really catch up to get that exam done, or
so basically in my bachelor's, I played more video games, so I really had to cut down my time playing video games. Because again, where I'm so rubbish at exams, I need to focus on it. Get into that exam mode. So I hadn't done exams since school, since my secondary school. So that's high school for people in the USA. And when I went to college, I wanted to only do assignment based because I hated exams. It was just to me, exams was just testing on how much you could remember. It was testing on your ability to apply the knowledge, in my eyes. So that's why I went for a assignment based course. And we had examinations such as crime scene examinations. Again, it was all based on your ability to apply the knowledge. So back to the video games, cutting down the hours and focusing on my exams. Again, I really cut it down. I only played my video games after my exams. So I didn't play at all. Yeah. Sorry to confuse you. I'm jumping about a bit. But
sure.
I didn't play
the point is,
throughout the exam period.
Didn't play. Because you had that big vision goal, that exam you had in your mind constantly when you came home. You have in your mind exam coming, so I need to really focus on that, right? So that make you cut those hours, right? But then you pass that exam and did a bit of job, and then you realize, oh damn it, there's still stress, uncertainty. So you came back again to playing. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly what happened. It's when I left university, I stayed focused after realising that problem. But coming away from university, I was now out on the big wide world. I had a lot of shit to get focused with. I had to understand a lot more about business. I had to understand a lot more about how everything else works, such as your pension, your tax, your national insurance, and everything else here. There's a lot more I had to learn, and I thought, right, I need to get together. But again, when I started hitting those brick walls and being in them catch-22 situations, instead of taking a key and thinking, right, how am I going to improve better for the next interview, I ran to my video games because I thought, what's the point?
Yeah, so you had some interviews, it has been rejected, rejected, so you came back to the video games.
Yeah. I mean, now I love rejection, but back then, I mean, since 2014 to now 2019, it's been near enough 4 to 5 years of getting rejected the point? And everyone gets to this point. What is the point when you're hitting these
how many times have you been rejected till you get to till you land that job you are right now?
Wow, God, I've lost count. I've stopped
I like
counting. Yes, I've lost count. I've had that many interviews. I mean, I had 3 fixed-term contracts, so that's like 6 months, 3 months, or even a month or whatever, just to help out. I mean, I did a what do you call it? I mean, they call them placements here, but it was like an internship really at Hansford Cosmetics. Fantastic company. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed working with them, and I did that for 3 months, and that actually paid for me to do my masters because I got a scholarship out of it. So after I'd done that, I thought, right, I got a bit more experience in such and such, I can do this. And then I got another fixed term contract with Hansford Cosmetics just to help them out with all their work that we're doing. Then I went from there straight into British American Tobacco, again a 6 months contract, mainly doing all of their toxicology and whatnot.
And that was ending,
Yeah,
6
it was
months,
just
3 months,
ending.
and
Then after British American Tobacco, I was just hitting those brick walls again. It was like I was back to stage one. I was in this hole and I didn't know how to dig myself out. You know what I mean? So they say your life's like climbing a mountain, and even though I got to the foothills and I'm now at the stage to climb this, I've like fell in a ditch and I don't know how to get myself out because I'm hitting these brick walls. So instead of trying to understand why I was hitting these brick walls and how to improve myself and iterate what it is I was doing so I can be better the next time round, I ran to my video games. I thought, you know what? What's the point? I've had enough. I'm sick to death of all these rejections. I'm sick to death of feeling low. I'm just going to get myself a full-time job, which is what I did. I ended up working in HSDU at the Queen Alexandra Hospital. So it's the hospital decontamination and sterilisation unit, which is like a decontamination lab. So I was getting some form of laboratory experience, but in the medical devices area, not in the type of science I wanted. But it was a full-time job. And so that's what I did. I went into that, and I used to come home, I either did my yoga or my gym, jumped on the PlayStation, and that was it, constantly. Work.
and again
yoga.
that loop, right?
Yeah.
How long it takes you to? How long it takes that loop till you get out?
Loop, I was in HSDU, so I started in September 2016. I went on my Bali yoga retreat. In 2017 in March. So a good 6 months. A good 6 months went by when I was in that constant loop. I just put my dream to the side and thought, it's not going to happen. People are right. All those people who told me I'd never get anywhere, they're probably right. So I'm gonna do this and see how it goes. So I sort of gave up. Then when I went on my yoga retreat, because again, that's why I wanted a full-time job. I wanted to go on these amazing yoga retreats, and I went to Bali, and it's based in Indonesia, so it's like a third world country. So when I went out there,
the place is amazing, right?
Oh, it's beautiful. I would recommend going to Bali. Nursa Lambagan, Katut's bungalows. It was beautiful, and the people are just amazing. They are the very people I'd like to become. They're just they're kind. They're understanding. They're very they're generous with.
You're talking about locals, right?
Have.
You're talking about locals.
Yeah, they're very. I can't really describe the feeling they gave me. It's just this elation that you get from them. I mean, I felt completely safe. And I've never felt that way. Usually when I'm walking down the street and someone comes up to me, starts chatting, it's like, well, yeah, I talk to them, but you always have that in the back of your head. Are they going to mug me? Whoever they are. Or are they going to try something? Or what are they doing? Because when someone approaches you asking the time, you don't know whether someone's nicking your purse behind you, because that's what they do. I mean, that's what they do in London. But in that place, I never sensed that. I don't know. It's like
there was some sort of calm, some sort of quiet. You were able to really
human connection. even though they did have phones and that lot, obviously they got laptops, obviously to do their business, because they run bungalows for like people to go on holiday there, because
There's a lot of
Australia.
people. There's a lot of entrepreneurs who are going there to just live and work from home.
And place is beautiful. I mean, they are slowly getting to terms with how to recycle and everything else and keeping their waters clean. But Australia uses Bali as, obviously, because it's only 3 hours away from Australia, they use it as a holiday destination. So obviously that's their income. So they have got phones, they have got laptops, but they've still got that community spirit that hasn't been in England for a long time. I mean, what they are now is what we were like back in the 50s. Like that community spirit, how you could just walk into each other's houses and nothing would be stolen and no one would get hurt. It was very, very rare.
So you didn't feel that danger and security things like that?
No, I got lost. I mean, my friends and I went to the market to get some fresh fruit and obviously look around. I was walking around in my sarong and my bikini, no one batted an eyelid. And I got lost on the way back, so my friend stayed at the market. And she said, remember, pink sign, turn left. I saw the pink sign and thought, no, I don't remember that. So I carried on walking. So when I carried on walking, I realised now I don't know where I am. One of the guys approached me, one of the people from Bali approached me and he said, are you okay? You look lost. I did feel a bit, here we go, just be calm. And he said, are you okay? Like, where are you staying? And when I said I'm staying with Katuk's bungalows, he said, he got on the phone, he's onto Wayan, who's Katuk's son, and said, I found your tourists, they look a bit lost. Do you want to come collect them? And I said, thank you so much. You didn't have to do it. He said, no, you could be my daughter, you could be my niece, you could be my sister, you could be my mother. He said, I'd like to think if my daughter went to your country, someone would do this for her to make sure she's safe. He said, and not only that, he said, this is my business over here. These are my villas here. We look after each other's businesses and we look after each other's tourists. He said, that's what we do. He said, you don't have to be afraid here. We're a community. And I just gave him a big hug. It was just this nice warm feeling you get from these people. It was out of this world. And again, Wayan come and collected me. He said, if you're ever lost, just ask someone. They said they might not be able to speak very good English. He said, but they will try and help because that's their mentality. And it was lovely. And what really helped me get out of my situation, I mean, obviously, I'm in a rural country. I'm away from my PlayStation in that for 2 weeks. So I've had that kind of like removal from there.
But do you have that urge? Do you have that urge really to come back to?
I was thinking about it. I was thinking, I could be playing GTA 5 right now. My mate's online, but I'm here in this beautiful country. So why would I be thinking this? So you had that odd thought coming back, like I was sitting on the beach looking at the waves and like watching the kids playing the sand and trying to collect the coral that was coming back from the sea. And I was sitting there thinking, this kind of reminds me of when in GTA 5 where they're on the beach and they're doing the jet skis and whatnot. And I thought, why am I thinking this? I'm here with my mates doing a yoga retreat in a beautiful country with lovely people. Why am I thinking about this? And what really helped me, I mean, I met a guy called Ken out in Bali. I mean, he's from Bali. He does the snorkeling with the manta rays and whatnot. Lovely bloke, and I've met his family. He invited me to meet him up because I went for their New Year, the Bali New Year. And I met up with them and I got talking to his wife and his family, and they said, what do you do? We want to know what you do over in England because you've got so much opportunity. And it's like that light bulb, moment. It's like, I have got loads of opportunity. What am I doing? So when I talked to them about like my ultimate dream career, and when I talked about this and where I am and why I felt that I'd never get there, they said, why you stopped? And it took me a while to answer her. I couldn't answer her or even Ken. He said, why did you stop? And in the end I said, I was in, pity pie started to come on. And they said, but why? Even even though you're getting rejection, someone's going to take you on eventually. Someone's going to train you. Someone's going to see that you're worth investing in. So why give up? And it just hit me like a ton of bricks to the face. I thought, these people have literally next to nothing. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and they're this community mentality, this spirit they have is unbroken, and they love life, and they look at us and they think, you've got so much opportunity in your world, why aren't you fighting for it? And I just sat there and said, I just couldn't answer them, because I realised how ungrateful I was in my life, because yes, I wanted a full-time job to have money to go away to these places, to step into their shoes and see out of their eyes. That was again, I can't really explain the feeling. It was just like someone had come down and slapped me silly and just said, wake up. And I woke up.
Because by being alone in England, kind of everybody's egocentric. People are thinking about themselves, or it's either one thing or the talk is shallow. How are you? Okay. Nobody cares if somebody wants to go deeper into the topic, right? But there actually people genuinely spend some time to ask you why the heck you are afraid of rejection. You have so many possibilities which you actually missed. Well, you just didn't even notice them because you are so focused. I've been freaking rejected. I'm the terrible person. I'm messing up. Instead of stepping out from that for a moment and see that from different point of view, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, seeing it from them, I thought I'm a horrible person. First thought, I'm a stupid, horrible person. These people have nothing, and they love life, and they take everything, every opportunity they get, they take it with both hands, and they invest in it, they grow it, they wait, they have that patience. So I thought, I'm going to take a note from their book, and just when I get home, I'm going to get my ass back in gear. I'm going to step away from video games, even though they give me that happiness. They're not going to give me that long-term investment that my career would give me. I mean, university is a very long-term investment. It's a patience game. You won't reap the rewards of university life unless you're very lucky until 5 to 10 down the line. And that's what I missed, and that's what I didn't understand and improve on. So to go there and to listen to Ken and his wife, I just thought, I'm an idiot. Now I know what I need to do. It's like they shook me up and refocused me, and I was so grateful for them. It was just an elating feeling that I got. So obviously when I got back home, I stayed in contact with them from Bali. I'm actually hoping to go back there in a year or two, obviously with everything that's going on, to see them again, to get back into that community spirit, because
and then then you came back and things changed, right?
Drastically. I mean, much as I love my video games, I put it all on hold. So I thought, right, I spoke to my friends online. I said, yeah, I'm back. I said, this is my last online game because I've got things to do. And my friends online were like, yeah, that's fine. We'll still be here. And just because obviously I'm still friends with them on Facebook, we still chat. He said, yeah, we're here. Good luck with it. Don't give up. And that's all they say. But out there, they are more community driven to understand you, to want to listen to you. And then if you ask their opinion, they'll voice it. And if you don't ask for their opinion, they won't give it. If you don't ask, you don't get out there. That's their mentality. So when I come back home, it was like a new paradigm shift. It's like I've really woken up into this world. My parents see that something had changed in me. My dad said, you seem to be a little bit more driven, which is about frickin' time, in his words. I mean, it's about time, girl. So I went back to my books. I actually fell asleep with one of the books on my face and had a bit of a nosebleed on one of my books. I got back into it. I started asking like the people who I worked with at Hansel Cosmetics to give me some feedback. Say, right, what did you like about me and what do you think I needed to improve on back then? And I got some feedback. I worked from there, and then I got some more feedback from the job that I was in, because the management there, they loved helping people improve, which is absolutely phenomenal as of management. So I got some feedback from them, and my friends who I went to college with still worked in HSDU, and it was so lovely to get her perspective. And she said, "Why have you given up? You never gave up. All the crap you went through and you fought through, you never gave up. So what got you to this stage?" So we had that chat. I told her about Bali. She said, "Too freaking right, they had every right to say that, you daft cow." But so she helped me plan for it. And then I had a couple of interviews, again, got rejections. And I thought, right, I've got to knock back. And then I had another interview, which is the one that got me this job that I'm in now as a quality
Okay, Vikki,
control.
give me a second. I will plug in
Sorry.
the plug. I need to put to charge my laptop because it will die. And
Oh, no
I'm
worries.
back in a second, okay?
You say, no worries.
Okay.
All right.
So you got that interview and?
And I got the job. I mean, I thought the interview went badly because I thought I've really screwed up on my maths here because I had I had a little bit of a demonstration to do with working with solutions and how to calculate their concentrations. And I thought, right, I know I'm very bad at my maths. I'll do my best. And I did. I completely screwed up. I thought, well, I screwed that one up. What am I doing? And I walked away from the interview. I thought, right, I've got the knowledge from doing all the reading and the researching around literature reviews online. I thought, now I need to focus on my maths because I'm absolutely rubbish. So the more I work on it, the better I'll be. And it was because of that mistake and how I reacted to that mistake in the interview, they gave me the job. I
Is it
thought,
a mistake? What do you mean?
yeah. I mean, obviously, they said to me, we'd like to employ you because obviously I was what they were looking for. I had the knowledge that they needed, and she liked the thought of working with me. And she also said that she liked the way I handled my mistake. I didn't say I walked out. She said, "It's the way you went. I understand that, yeah. Right. Can you please tell me like how you do it so I could restructure my learning of this equation into myself and improve?" She said, "Because you said that, that's why I thought I could work with you because you're willing to improve. You're willing to put your hands up and say, I've made a mistake and improve from it, learn from it." And she said, and that's what I thought, I can work with this. And I'm in that job. I'm on my way to my dream career. I mean, I love the job that I'm in. It's brilliant. The people are really nice and placid there. We really get on. We're like on fire as a team. So it's now I'm on this way to my dream career. It's like I'm less and less on my PlayStation. The only time I'm on my PlayStation is when I literally have nothing to do, and I think, I've ridden my motorbike, I've done this, that, and the other. I'm gonna spend an hour on my PS4, and it is. I'm on there for an hour or two, and I'm like, oh, I'm bored of this now.
But you
Oh,
don't
I'm gonna
think
go do that.
you don't think anymore about, I don't know, going somewhere out to town and there's gonna be some jets running around.
No, I don't think like that whatsoever. I don't think about going into town and having all this fantastic stuff, and because it's just stuff. I don't need no more stuff in my room. I've got plenty of it. I mean, I'm still using it. It still works. I don't see the point in going out and getting a flash new car because I've got a new job. That car I've got is my first car, and I love it. And I dread the day that I have to trade it in for a new one because it obviously all cars have a sell-by date. They stop working. They stop being dependable. I will cry my eyes out when that car goes because it's been so reliable.
So right now you find that
And
fulfillment in job you're
I
doing
just
and don't
don't
really
see the point.
focus on
I'm
those.
focused. Yeah, the job that I've got, I'm focusing on. I'm learning new stuff. I mean, even though I stress myself out there because we're quite busy at the moment, and even though I'm stressing myself out, like I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. Not once have I thought I need to run to my video game to hide. I thought, right, list it out, highest priority, lowest priority, and work from that. And it's made me better as a scientist and as an employee.
So
I've
rather
learned,
than focusing on games, focusing on buying new things, you just find
yeah,
enjoyment in the job you
definitely.
do, right?
I'm finding great enjoyment. I don't have trouble getting up in the morning to go to work. I'll wake up, I'll meditate, and I think, right, let's get my ass to work because I've got X amount of experiments I'll get to do. I mean,
Yeah, it's like you don't
it's
have
great.
weekends. People tend to ask. In my case, people tend to ask me, "You don't have weekends?" Man, I can. I just love what I do. I don't really want
Yeah,
weekends.
no, I mean, what I'm doing now with my business, I mean, the reason why I started this business, I want to help people get out of that situation that I was in. And I know that there's people that's got it worse than I have, and they really have. Or someone might have it more mildly and they just know how to get out of it. That's why I started this business. Because I really want to help people, and B, I was bored at the weekend. When I was away from work, I was like, what to do with myself? And then I just sat there and I thought about it, and I just thought, how can I give back to the world? Because my hero obviously is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's always said
Mhm.
that the key to success is obviously having a vision, having a goal, and having that focus, that discipline. And he always said, make sure you turn around and pull someone up with you, reach back, give back to the world, make a difference, make a change, leave the world in a better place than you found it. So that's why I've started this business up, because I want to reach back and help these people to aspire and become the people they want to be, because I know they can. It's just they're stuck in that hole that I was, and they don't know how to dig themselves out. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump in that hole with them and show them how to dig themselves out.
And
Not
you've been
just,
there.
yeah, I've been there. I don't want to stand at the top of the hole and go, how do you feel about that? What's got you to this stage? I don't want to be that person. I want to jump in there and say, right, this is how you dig yourself out. Let's do it. And then
Right.
that's the type of person I want to be, and that's why I want to do this business, is to get these people out of that stage and get them to the life they really want.
Okay, so Vicky, tell me, where is your story about Bali and your realization that you need to really that story about Ken and Bali, that conversation. Do you have
Yeah,
that story somewhere out live on your website or on
I
video?
haven't really. No, I haven't really put it out there at all. This is the first time that I've really put it out there. I mean, I did do a first video blog, which is on my Facebook page, and I went a little bit into it, and I didn't really go into depth like I have with you now. So perhaps it's something I really need to do. I don't know whether people are interested in hearing that. I mean, if they are, I'm happy to talk about it. Yeah.
Because that's something I was like, I was listening. Okay, that's your epiphany. That's your
Mm,
story that makes the change. So you
yeah.
had some breakthroughs, but you really needed to go out to the second side of the world to
Mhm.
dig and find your true self.
Yeah.
That was
Definitely. I needed to take myself out of our little society of instant gratification and be somewhere where it's more community based.
Mhm.
That for me really works because I'm very spiritual in that sense, and it just woke me up. Whereas that won't always work for everyone because everyone reacts differently to different things. So for me personally, yeah, that is it. You've hit the nail on the head. I needed to be out of this toxic zone that I've created for myself and be the person on the outside looking in for a change. And that's what Ken and his wife done for me. It just blew it out of the water.
so. What would be the advice if you would need to give the one advice to people who are game addicted to get out?
Yeah, for people who are addicted to playing video games who can't see any light at the end of the tunnel, get out of the tunnel. You're not in a tunnel. Stop thinking you're in a tunnel in the start. Stop thinking that you're in this dark, horrible place that you need video games to get some satisfaction out of. You just need to be that person on the outside looking in. Think more critically, like, okay, I'm here, but why? Why am I thinking this way? Really question yourself. And my advice to you is get away from the machine. Get back out into society. Even if you fear society, or you get anxiety attacks for being around people, put yourself in that situation and face that fear, because that's the only way you're going to break that cycle. I mean, you don't even have to be around people. I mean, if you love going for walks or going for a bike ride or just even taking pictures of really pretty scenes, go for a walk. If it's a really lovely day, again, think, right, where can I go? Where can I walk to? Or where can I be that would give me that clear sense of mind? I mean, whether that be walking up the top of the hill, so like you've got a nice hillside near you, or a lovely countryside near, or even just a little pane of woods. Just go somewhere for a bit of fresh air and just re-clarify yourself. Even if it means
would you agree? Would you? Sorry, carry on. Just...
Even if you don't have to necessarily go into nature, even if it means you're going to a gym for the first time.
That's right.
I mean, you don't think about, oh God, people are going to think I'm really weak. They're not going to think I'm strong. I don't have the gym body. There's no such thing as a gym body. Yes, there's no such thing as a gym body. Get yourself in there, because that day one could mount to day 100, and then you would have the gym body, as everyone talks about. But go somewhere you don't usually go to, and just put yourself in that situation, and then come back and think, how did it make me feel? Okay, I've got a bit of anxiety, or I couldn't really perform as what this person was doing, and then realise I'm basically comparing myself to someone's 50th chapter. My chapter 1 is being compared to someone's chapter 50. Why am I doing that? Why am I judging myself against someone else? Like, so and so's got a fantastic life on social media. Well, rule number 1, people only post positive things about their life on social media to make it look like they have this perfect world. They never discuss the negatives, like, I had a bit of a bad day today because this, that, and the other happened, and this is what I'm going to do to be better prepared for the future. So they don't do that. I've had this amazing meal out with my friends, and we've had such a good time. It's such a laugh. It was amazing. I love you all. And they don't really focus on everything else. Like,
doesn't matter that people are
this perfect world that doesn't exist.
and they cry, and some of them, well, a lot of them really crying overnight and have that suicidal thoughts. But that was amazing day, and then again,
they're not really expressing. Yeah, they're not really expressing how they feel. I mean, you could be out with your friends but feel like you're completely alone. I mean, they say the person that gives the most joy to people tends to be the most lonely and upset. And in terms of that, it's true, because, again, Robin Williams, I mean, look how much joy he gave to the world, and deep down he was really suffering. And you just don't see it, because not every smile, I mean, you can't really see behind someone's great smile. You think that they were happy, you think that they're joyful. I mean, have that connection with someone, like, talk to people, even family members. Even if you think, oh my God, my family don't understand me, best way to get out of that is to sit your family down and say, look, I want to discuss something with you, but I don't want no judgments. I'm not asking for your opinion. I just need to get this off my chest. If I want your opinion, I want you to be honest and non-judgmental, because, again, I am an adult. I'm allowed to make mistakes, but I've made this mistake of being addicted to video games, and I want to look at a way to improve my life, not feel bad about it. Because if no one's adding value to your life or giving you constructive criticism to work with to improve your life, it's useless. Someone's saying on social media, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, you're absolute twat, you should go kill yourself. That's not... I can't use that. I can't use that to improve myself. Give me something constructive. Like, I like your video, or I like this I like this, what you're doing, I like what you're talking about, but you're not really talking about such and such. You're not really talking about how it's affecting my children. Like, I'm a parent struggling to get my child off of video games. I'd really like you to talk about that. That I can work with. Not saying you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, this is not video game addiction. People just making it up as an excuse to hide from the world, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you can't work with that. You need something to work with. So it's about understanding, listening. Tell your parents, tell your spouse to listen, not judge, ignore everything they think, whether they think you're lazy, whether they just think that you've just become this other person they never knew about. They need to let go of all judgments and just sit there and listen and try to understand and put themselves in their shoes to really get why they have run to video games, why they escape to video games, why they need to play these video games. And even if their spouse or their loved one or whatever says, I don't know why I run to these video games, say, let's try and figure out, let's talk about this. Is it your work? Is it school? Is it your friends? Is it, let's dig deeper and narrow in to try and find the core reason why you run to video games.
So
For me,
Vikki,
it's escaping stress.
So Vikki, would you be all right with it to listen if whoever is watching you right now would like to reach out to you and talk about it because they feel like they're stuck in that tunnel and nobody really understands them? Would you be okay to take that person a call and listen?
Definitely. Yeah, just pop me a message. I mean, obviously I'm on your Facebook, and if they're on yours, tell them to pop onto my Facebook, send me a message. If you want to have a chat, that's absolutely fine.
So down below gonna be in description gonna be
even in the comment section. Yeah, go for it. If you want to talk about this and have someone take that unbiased view, because it's so important that someone takes that non-judgmental stance and listens, go for it. That's what I'm here for. That's why I built this business.
So to sum up, Vikki, what are you doing? At the end of the day, what's your mission?
Well, my mission is to follow my dreams, get to that success, love rejection, and to love any type of obstacle, and to overcome it, learn from it. But my ultimate mission is to leave this world in a better place than I found it. Be the change that this world needs. That's my mission. That's what I want to do. Not only do I want, obviously, my career, my dream to come true, I want other people to see their dream become a reality.
So they can get rid of their game addiction, right?
Yeah, definitely. And they don't have to go completely cold turkey. I mean, some people that works for them to go cold turkey to get away from an addiction. But you can still have video games in your lives. I will never discourage anyone to completely get rid of the video games in their lives, because they're fun, they're entertainment, it just shows you a new world, and it even tells a story. I mean, I love the Resident Evil franchise, and they've just remade Resident Evil 2, which is one of my favourite Resident Evils, alongside Resident Evil 3, and it was beautiful how they did it, and the story was a little bit different. At the same time, it just really
You're so passionate about that. You're so passionate about that. So you can
love video games, but
so you can, on one side, you can really speak with someone about getting rid of that game addiction, but you can spend with them time to just like having a friend conversation about what you actually enjoy, right?
If they don't have that with people, like in their family who don't listen to them talk about games, like I talked about it sometimes with my parents, it just goes over their head. Yeah, the same when I talk to him about my work and what I do. My dad sort of understands because he loves science, but my mum, it's just completely over her head. But again, I will talk about anything to do with games. I would happily talk about them, especially GTA 5. It's such a laugh. But
okay,
again,
so we're gonna have probably time to talk about it next time, because we are running out a bit of time. It's more than an hour.
I know, an hour and 15. God, sorry guys, I really do ramble. Yes, so if you just need someone to listen to you and your views, pop me a message, comment below. I would happily do that session with you. It'd be absolutely fine.
Brilliant. So thank you, Vikki, for being with me today. So
no, thank you for doing this. I've had fun. Sorry if I've bit your ear off with like my constant chatting.
No worries. Visit Vikki on what's your fan page?
My fan page is Beat Your Video Game Habit. You can even visit my website at www.beatyourvideogamehabit.com, or just go onto my Facebook, Vikki Horton, through Pawel's page, and just
All right.
send me a message.
Lovely. So hope to see you again soon, and all the best. Thank you.
And all the best to you. Thank you very much. Take care.
Take care. See ya.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay.